Welcome to part 6 of our video workshop. This section has 2 parts. Part 1, Layout and Design Fundamentals, is a recap of the content we've covered so far.
And part 2 is essentially a field trip where we'll go out into the field so we can show you how to lay a flag line and how to walk a fun flag line.
Field trips are always fun, but first, let's review the fundamentals of layout and design.
This is a key point. The person doing the trail layout and design must be intimately familiar with every square foot of the site. Why? Because it involves a very complex mental process of asking and answering questions.
That's right. The layout and design process begins even before you leave the office. There are 11 elements to consider: the issues, politics, resource values and constraints, management constraints, existing conditions, the vision, the TMO, the soils, climate, vegetation, and topography.
Once you've taken a closer look at the scope and complexity of your project, you'll understand that great trails don't happen by accident. They're created by thoughtful and purposeful design.
Let's talk flow. It's so important for a trail to have flow. It always starts with viewing the landscape so you can identify places the trail will go and consider the least intrusive route to get there. Keep in mind that a trail should not interfere with the natural drainage patterns. They should always dip into and climb out of the natural drainage points.
Let's remember to give riders a great wow factor. What does a landscape offer that works to your advantage? It's your job as the designer to find those gateways and anchors and piece them all together.
The trail designer also has to manage the rider's eye. This can significantly enhance the rider's experience. We can design trails that provide intrigue and visual diversity. Big wows are great, but don't underestimate the impact that several little wows can add to the rider's enjoyment.
Avoid A to B design. It's always better to keep riders engaged by allowing the trail to flow and blend with the landscape. Not only does this enhance the rider's experience, it improves the aesthetics of the trail as well.
Avoiding A to B design allows you to decrease the size of the tread watershed and increase the trail sustainability because it has less impacts on the resources.
The goal is never to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. When we design with flowmentum in mind, we decrease the rider's speed, which increases seat time and decreases the tread impact to the trail.
Don't be afraid of grade. Yes, be mindful of the grade and how it adds to the flow of the trail, but don't fear it. OHV riders have motors and they like to use them. Going up and down adds to their experience.
Just make sure to keep in mind soil type, climate, as well as how the trail will be used and how often it will be used. Then you can decide if the grade is too steep. Remember, great trails balance great rider experiences with the reality of long-term sustainability.
Now it's time for Mark and I to head out into the field, where we can give you some practical, hands-on experience. You ready, Mark?
You bet, let's do this.
And we're back, this time in the great outdoors. We've got plenty of flags and ribbon, and now we're gonna walk what we feel is the ideal location for the flag line.
Using the pin flags to mark the trail's exact alignment works best. Identify and note the obstacles that will be left in the trail. Don't skimp on your use of flags. Flagging is cheap compared with the time spent relocating the trail. Plus, more flags make it easier for trail designers and builders to visualize the flow of the trail.
Once you flag the trail, it's time to walk the path you've made. This gives you a good feel for the flow of the trail. You can make adjustments and move the flags if a turn is too tight or a section has too much straightaway.
You want to make sure that the trail alignment looks and feels natural, and you're satisfied with the location of your flags.
Exactly. At this stage in the layout and design of your trail, you're starting to get a feel for how it will ride, look, and feel. You're also making sure it fits the environment aesthetically and that long-term sustainability won't be an issue.
That's it for this part of the workshop. Once you're comfortable tying flags, please go ahead and participate in the mapping exercise that we have created for you.
It's a great way to drive home the content we've covered, and thanks for your participation. We're extremely proud of our partners and the positive future they help create for OHV recreation.